What up, what up, what up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, here with my guys, the Horsemen, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Premium Takes again in your life on a wonderful Friday afternoon. As you guys can see in the title, as you guys can see in the thumbnail, we are going to be focusing on majorly the draft. This is a Premium Takes special draft recap. We're going to mainly focus on the Giants, and eventually in the night we can go on about who do we feel had the best draft, who do we feel did the most improvement for the teams, and a lot of drama, you would say maybe shenanigans that happened with the draft. We definitely want to find that as well and go over that as well. That being said, let's just start by going on and talking about what the Giants did. So I'm just going to pull up this graphic real fast, and I do want to share it. It's not on the screen just yet, but I do want to share it, and then Matt can go ahead and he can pull that up. So let me just pull up this graphic, and this is from, I believe, SB Nation. And this is going to just lead us into the topic at hand. And that being said, where is that? I believe it's this one. And let's just pull this graphic up if you don't mind. It should be right at the bottom of the screen, Matt. All right, guys. So let's get it here. I can say, a lot of us on this show, Premium Takes, I would say majority of us are all football fans. And, some of us comes here for wrestling. Some of us comes here for NBA. But majority of us will be saying that's coming here for football. And I would say out of that majority, 85% of that is Giants fans. So we can say that the Premium Takes podcast, even though we do talk about football, we do mostly like to focus on the Giants. And this is SB Nation. They just put this graphic up there, and I do want to go over some of these graphics. And I think this is pretty good because I think I think the Giants had an amazing draft, and I would love to get the boys' opinions on it after I go over these graphics. But it says which team put together the best draft class, right? Got the New York Giants out of 100%. It got the New York Giants right up there at 31%. Absolutely written in that category. And I know on paper, it looks fine, right? But obviously we're all football fans. It has to translate to the field. But what we can do right now is we can celebrate the victory that was the offseason for the New York Giants. And some teams win in the offseason and can't put it together in the regular season. Hopefully we can change the course and we can change the culture. So 31% voted on that the Giants had the best draft class. Okay, SB Nation reacts. Which player picked in the top 5 will become the biggest story in the NFL? Once again, I honestly thought it was going to go to Travis Hunter, being that he's down there Duval country. He's going to go crazy in Jacksonville. No, a lot of people voted. 40% of them, almost half the pool, had it Abdul Carter. That's pretty good. It's all just surveys, right? This one surprised me. Which quarterback will have the best rookie season? Right up there is Jackson Dart. I'm scratching my head to this one because I see a lot of quarterbacks up here that's probably not even going to be starting for their respective teams this season. Like, obviously, this is Russell Wilson's year, but it surprised me that we did have Jackson Dart up there. I was expecting to see Cam Ward, obviously, being that he's probably the only rookie that's going to probably play the whole year. Callahan didn't come on and say that at his press conference, but come on, let's be honest. We all know it's Cam Ward's job, right? But that being said, I just wanted to show you guys those graphics. And I just love that it's coming from a source, SB Nation, and the Giants won all 3. We're gonna go over our draft picks one by one at a time. But before we do that, I just want to pass the mic over to Mac, pass the mic over to Adam. Overall, as an overall draft, what would you guys grade the Giants? And then we can get it. We can go down from our number 1 pick to our last pick. But let's go with you, Mac, first. Just overall, your thoughts on the Giants draft, the Giants offseason in general, and what would you grade them? Go right ahead and then pass the mic over to Adam.
Well, I'll give him an A because I think Joe Shane really did a tremendous job here, man. I mean, he really got he not only addressed the needs for the New York Giants, but he got some really good value with the picks. I mean, what he did on day 3 was, I mean, on paper at least anyway. Like I said, none of this really matters if it doesn't translate onto the field. But at the end of the day, on paper, all we can do is evaluate the moves right now on paper. And on paper, he did a great job. I mean, these moves right now, they like I said, a lot of value on day 3. To get Camp Scatterbill in the 4th round in day 3, and then the offensive lineman Bo. I mean, just great value with those picks right there. Both of those picks were just sincere. I mean, both of those guys could have went significantly earlier than they actually did. So the fact that he was able to go up and get those guys on day 3, like Scatterboo, running back wasn't necessarily a position of great need for the New York Giants, but it's hard to turn down that kind of value. This guy sitting on the board there. I mean, what he's able to bring to the table. Bo, from what I'm understanding, is going to be playing tackle. They're going to start him out playing tackle. I'm not sure how I feel about that. He's got them little alligator arms like Justin Pugh, and that can come back to bite you in the ass in the NFL. But we'll see, man. We'll see what they have a plan for him right now. I'm willing to see what their ideas are. And
And we definitely we not
even
to
like
interrupt
the
you, Matt,
last
but
two, even the
we definitely will not to interrupt you. I'm sorry. We definitely will go pick for pick. And I do want you to obviously I want to know your thoughts on that, but kind of save it for the rest of the episode. But continue on the Giants and evaluating them picks. I'm sorry. Continue.
I mean, yeah, and then just like what he was able to do, even with the 2 7th round picks. I mean, they're not necessarily guaranteed guys that they're going to hit or anything, but at the end of the day, there's good, strong potential there. I was talking to me and Adam talking on the roundup the other day on Wednesday. Like I said, the cornerback Corey Black. I just feel like I just love the mentality of that young man. He understands the situation. He understands he's a 7th round draft pick coming in here, and he's just willing to he's willing to commit and do whatever he has to make the team, even if that means he's only going to be a part of the special teams. You know what I mean? I just love that kind of attitude of a young player coming into the league. But overall, I mean, the draft in a whole, he just did a great job. I mean, every pick to me felt like something like he addressed the need and got decent value. I mean, maybe not so much if you want to say on paper so much value for Jackson Dart in a sense, but that's the guy they wanted. That was their quarterback that they eyed, and he went up and got him, and he jumped in front of the Rams and made sure that they were able to get the quarterback that they wanted. So, and obviously you don't have to speak on the Abdul Carter pick, and the round 3 pick, also Darius Alexander, just tremendous picks. Like I said, Joe Shane really did a good job. I was really shocked and surprised at the way he was able to really manipulate this draft in favor for the New York Giants. Like I said, the least on paper. Nothing matters if these guys don't translate on the field. But as of right now, I like what I've seen.
Well said, well said. What's up, NFL Reality Check? Daniel, thank you guys so much for being here. And I appreciate the words right there, Reality Check. Really appreciate that. That's love. And Daniel, what's up to you as well? That being said, though, I like to say masterclass. What Mac was saying, masterclass from Joe Shane. Adam, what's your thoughts?
I thought he did a great job as well. A very good start to this offseason. He's had a good offseason in general, Joe Shane. And I think with these picks, he nailed value, he nailed need. And look, his fucking idea worked, okay? Drafting a blue chip player and then getting a quarterback. It happened to work out this time because not as many teams were either as high on the quarterbacks or decided to pass on him for whatever reason. Last year, there was a surplus of teams that needed him and took him where they were. This year, obviously, they didn't. So getting Abdul Carter, obviously one of the best defenders in the draft, was pretty good. And then coming up and getting a quarterback, I thought was great. Little Nuggets, you knew Little Nuggets going in that he was a possibility for them. I connected the dots very early on that he was definitely on their radar because of Eli Manning connection. His wife, Ole Miss. He's been in the Manning camp. A lot of stuff. When you put Eli Manning next to a quarterback, that's the guy you got to start. For the New York Giants, that's the guy you got to start to kind of, navigate towards because that's who they're going to get the intel from, and that's what they did. They got intel from him. He obviously did well in his pro day, in his combine, and then the rest of the picks as we go through. Darius Alexander, I thought was great value. I think he's going to be a stud. He's one of my favorite picks of the draft, if not my favorite pick of the draft, because I just think that was a smart choice. You didn't reach. There was other guys on the board. He fell. This guy was clearly a second round pick that fell into the third round for whatever reason, possibly age. And this is where you take a chance on age guys. Guys who are a little older may not contribute as much, so you don't necessarily need the same length on their contract as you would, let's say, Jackson Dart, right? And I think, not to get too deep into it, but I think with the Dart thing that works out the best for us is that it's not that it doesn't have to start right away. I hope he comes in and starts right away. The only reason I say that is because that means he's beaten out everybody else. Now, I don't want him to start because they're desperate. I want him to start because they've organically think that he's reached a level of, maturity or, football maturity that they can put him out there. And I think Joe Shane has saved his job enough with the first two picks at least to extend him going forward. I think he's going to be extended because of his draft class last year, his free agency class to start this year, and then of course his draft class this year. So, and now getting the quarterback that you're investing in. But to keep it kicking it down the road, Scadaboo I liked him a lot. We all heard about him. I think he's a different type of back from Tracy, which the Giants haven't had in a while. You get a two-back attack that both can catch the ball in the backfield. Scadaboo, I think someone mentioned he needs blocking experience. Hopefully he'll be able to work on that. Bo, the lineman, I liked him a lot. Again, value pick. They're starting him at tackle. Who knows what that means? I mean, the Giants have brought in a lot of different.
And we're definitely gonna get into it. But overall, what would you grade it for Joe Shane? What would you grade it?
Oh, it was an A. Definitely a solid A. He checked all the boxes.
He did. He absolutely checked all the boxes. Alrighty. So I have a graphic at the bottom of the screen, and Adam, don't mean to cut you off there. I'm definitely going to throw the mic back at you. So we got Abdul Carter out of Penn State, and we got Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, right there posing. I absolutely love this picture, by the way, because overall masterclass by Joe Shane, and they come in together. They come in, they change the culture together. One is probably going to be, I don't know if he's going to probably get captain this first season, but I could see one captain on defense. You got another captain on offense. We see how it goes. I don't know if we get the captain, obviously. We have Russell Wilson still, but a future leader. That's all I meant to say, a future leader, right? And that being said, what's up, No Mets? Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it, right? So this is the time where we're going to really deep dive. What's your thoughts? How you felt when the Giants picked them? How you felt when they were selected? And what you think they're gonna bring to this defense? So let's just start out with what everybody kind of thought the Giants was gonna do, right? We all talked quarterbacks. We all said, like, if your quarterback is there and you fell in love with him, you go there and pick them. We'll talk about Sanders later on in the episode. We're not gonna leave tonight without talking about that. But what we all thought is, the Giants, what did they do? What did the Giants do in every single draft? They take the best available player. And I just think it was history repeating itself. And we once again took our edge rusher when we have a solid defensive line already, and now you just add to it. We'll get into our third round selection, but let's focus on Abdul Carter. What does he bring to our defense, Adam? And what's your thoughts when we draft him? And then after you answer, your thoughts about him, and then turn it over to Matt.
Well, first off, Abdul Carter has my initials, so right off the bat, he's already a good start in my book. Anybody with the initials of mine can be cool. Now, I want to clarify something before everyone starts to get down my throat. I know people are going to say, Adam, you were for a quarterback at round 3, or number 3 pick, but you're okay with Carter. Listen, Carter's not the issue. Carter wasn't the issue. He's a great player. I wasn't going to be mad at Carter or Hunter or whoever he took, right? I was mad that if they didn't get a quarterback that was worth anything, right? Not investing in one, not giving a swing. That's what it is. But because that happened, and we can look at this overall, I'm happy about it. I'm happy that we have Carter. I think he's going to bring a different dimension to the defense. They can deploy him. I don't know if they're going to deploy him like a Micah Parsons, but he can do that. I think you'll see him blitz the A-gap a lot because he played some off-ball linebacker, the new terminology. Give me a break. He's a middle linebacker or weak linebacker. I mean, It's off ball. Like, give me a what? It's all these hip terms that we use nowadays. Ooh, he's an edge rusher. No, man, he's a Sam linebacker. You know, and now it's like, oh no, he's a defensive end. That guy's an edge. LT was an outside linebacker, played Sam. In this day and age, we call him an edge. But enough about that guy. Speaking of LT, that's actually kind of funny. Good segue. Carter wants to be next LT.
Yeah, give your thoughts. Give your thoughts about him wanting to. Obviously, he got denied. Obviously, nobody will ever wear the 56 again. But what's your thoughts on him asking for it?
You can ask. I'm glad that LT said what he said. I know a lot
absolutely.
of people
I love that. I love that.
Or whatever. I'm just like, we're talking about the greatest player of all time, right? If the Bulls retired number 23, and some kid comes in, and Anthony Edwards comes in and goes, "Can I wear 23?" I would hope Jordan would go, "Absolutely not." I made that.
I admire that. Thank you, but no. You know what I'm saying?
Not only made that number iconic, around the NBA, but when people think of a red number 23 on the Bulls, they only think of me. When we think of 56, we think of LT. That's where our brain goes. Now, he can go out and get his own number, whatever number that he deems. I know Phil Simms, he's a good quarterback, but I can guarantee you he can bring that number back. I know No Mets was on with us on Wednesday, and he said, well, why wouldn't you want to bring it back to make 56 relevant? And to me, you're not. You can say it's just a number. In Giant lore, it's not a number. I don't care about any other number except for 2 in this space for me. I don't ever want to see anybody wear number 10. I don't ever want to see anyone wear number 56.
Jaden in the building. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what's up, champ? What's up? Sorry, Adam. But then Mac, go right after Adam. Sorry.
So essentially, that's what I want because he's that good of a player. If he was just a normal guy, I mean, the Yankees retired Babe Ruth's number. If somebody came out and wore Babe Ruth's number, he can't defend him because he's dead. But I hope somebody would be like, that guy is transcended baseball. I don't want to just give it to some random Joe Schmo. How do I know if he comes in, Abdul Carter wears 56 and sucks? Then you're not going to even. Then what's the point of doing it? I get you want to honor somebody, but here's how you honor them: break his sack with it. That's how you honor him.
In the building.
And put your name in the record book.
That's facts. What's up, Adrian? Mac, what's your thoughts on Abdul Carter when we took him? What were your thoughts and what you think about him as a player and the 56 situation?
Well, I mean, look, obviously, what he is as a player, we all know. Like you said, he was, arguably the best prospect in this entire draft class. But at the end of the day, I mean, hopefully he can ignite a fire under this pass rush's ass. I mean, let's face it, man. We paid Brian Burns a lot of money a season ago. I'm still waiting for that to pay off. I mean, he had a couple of good games, but you didn't really see the guy. You didn't see that consistency that you like to see in a guy that you paid all that money to a season ago. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau is very inconsistent as well. He's good for a game here and a game there as well. I mean, I want to see consistency in the pass rush once again, like it used to be back in the day when you had those great New York Giant pass rushers like Strahan and Tuck and Umanure on the squad, and you saw a consistency every week of getting after the quarterback. Man, it wasn't just a game here and a game there. I hope Abdul Carter brings a new attitude when it comes to that kind of thing, man. I think it's on paper, like I said, it looks great. It's a hell of a rotation. We got to see it work on the field, and he can do a lot of different things. I mean, he, like Adam said, he can off ball stuff. Whatever you want to say, he can do all of that stuff too. So he brings that to the table as well. I mean, I'll touch on a number thing as well too. Like I said on Wednesday, I mean, it's just some things you just don't do. I mean. I can see what you're saying, no Mets from one standpoint, but like I said, we gave an example of that. With certain people, that's one thing. Like Neighbors did it last year with number 1. Yeah, I think you can go back how many years, and a lot of people, and I'm almost nearly a 50-year-old guy my damn self, and I didn't know who number 1 was for the New York Giants. I didn't even know number 1 was a retired number for the New York Giants till Malik Neighbors asked for it. I mean, and Phil Simms, maybe not quite didn't know Phil Simms' number was retired, but at the same time, that number 11 is not as iconic as 56. 56 is not only iconic for the New York Giants, it's iconic league-wide. That's a league number that's just all through the league. You say 56, the first things that come to your mind is Lawrence Taylor. It doesn't matter, and that's
Yeah,
anybody.
facts.
That's
It's
anywhere. Like
undebatable. It's
you say
undebatable on
number,
that
you
side of the
say
ball.
number,
Yeah. I'm sorry,
you
Mac, but
say
it's
number
undebatable on
11.
that side of the ball. It's when you ask who's the best offensive player, right? People is gonna name Jerry Rice. People might name Tom Brady, Joe Montana. When you talk about defense, there's 56 and no one else. No one else. Who's the best defensive player of all time? Lawrence Taylor. Ask anybody. 56. There's no debate. But go right ahead, Mac. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like you say number 11. I mean, sure, but everybody's first thought's not going to say Phil Sims. You know what I mean? That's just not going to just jump in everybody's mind. I mean, it just is what it is. Phil Sims was a good quarterback for the New York Giants, had a great career for the Giants, brought the New York Giants a championship. But at the end of the day, it's just not as iconic a number as 56. 56 is just too damn iconic. You can't not play a game in the NFL and come in and think it's okay to ask for 56. I mean, like it just doesn't work that way. I mean, and if things let's just go and say things don't work out and Abdul Carter's not the guy we thought he was, and now you're wearing 56 and you fucking suck. Like that would be absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? So you can't even.
They can't do that. Exactly.
So I'm not. So it's just.
And I'm not mad at him for
I
it.
mean,
Like,
he's a great. Hope he's a great young player, and he'll do everything that we expect him to do. I think he will. I don't see bust on this kid at all. This guy has a motor. He can get after it, man. But I think the future's bright, and I think the New York Giants defense has some serious potential to be like very scary. Back to the old days again, at least on the defensive side of the ball.
I just want to touch on this real quick. When he's saying that people trying to argue Aaron Donald over LT. Listen, the reason why LT is so good is because he transcended a sport. And what that means is you basically create a position because you're so good. Okay? Aaron Donald's a D tackle. There's been plenty of D tackles that have been good. John Randall was the D tackle before Aaron Donald came. So as much as I like Aaron Donald, all the young cats know Aaron Donald. All the old heads and historians know John Randall. But there is no other LT. There's none. Okay? And what he did at the linebacker position, they weren't doing on a regular basis. You don't get Von Miller. You don't get Derek Thomas. You don't get any of these guys that came after him without LT pioneering the way. I mean, quick story, he made up a pass rush on the fly of the game. And then gets reamed out by Bill Belichick, and he goes, "Why don't you put that in on Monday, Coach? I think it works." Like that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the guy that was so good that could be up all night with hookers, come in, have 3 sacks, and do it all again next week. You know, with little to no, we're talking about a transcendental player, Jordan-esque at his sport. Dare I say? He may not have the global phenomenon as Jordan does, but the overall legendary status, he's right up there when you talk about GOAT of Mount Rushmore.
yeah, your Babe Ruths and your Michael Jordans. Absolutely. 132 sacks. And then he was playing before they even started counting sacks. So you know what I'm saying? Like he's all over the place. And I don't knock Carter for it because Carter is absolutely a dog, and I guarantee you he's gonna make his legacy. And I get it, 11 sticks is a legacy at Penn State. So when another motherfucker comes to Penn State, he's gonna ask for 11, just what Carter did to Michael Parsons. You want to live up to the legacy of 11. I get why he's asking for it, and I know he's humble about it. I know he's a fan of LT. That's his favorite player. Like we all know that he didn't do it out of ill will. But at the end of the day, the fact that you even brought it up is almost as if like, homie, just read the room. You know what I'm saying? Read the room, and that's basically all it was, right? It was like. 56, that's off limits. That's just let's be real. That being said though, Mac, what is your thoughts about Jackson Dort? And I want your honesty. I know I was watching the stream. I know you probably thought we was gonna go someplace else. I honestly I thought he was gonna say Sanders as well. I mean like Sanders. I was so excited that we traded up Sanders, and then Jackson Dort. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And then honestly, I like me some Jackson Dort. Didn't really do that much research on him. Adam called me, asked Adam what his thoughts on it. He obviously Adam will give his thoughts in a second. But Mac, What is your thoughts on Jackson Dort? Second round, traded back into the first round, should I say, to select our quarterback of the future, what seems to be. See what happens. But go ahead, Mac.
I mean, look, like I said, originally I might not have seemed too high on the pick, and I wasn't because, like I said, I was in my Shedeur Sanders bag. But like as the smoke clears and as you just like he was still at the end of the day, my reality is Jackson Dart was still the number 3 quarterback for me. So you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
I like that.
So at the end of the day, am I truly upset about getting Jack Dart? That's the guy that Joe Shane and Brian Daboll felt the most comfortable with, and that was their guy. That's who they pinpointed as the quarterback that they wanted. Then that's what you got to go up and do. You got to make that move. That's the move they needed to make. And if they feel like that's what's best for this team going forward, then all I'm going to do is support the decision. You know, the more we've seen about the more I've looked into everything, and I've looked a lot more deeper into Jackson Dart even since the draft now.
Yes,
And
yes.
the kid is growing on me. He has the intangibles. He does have this stuff. I mean, he has to be a little smarter about protecting himself in the way he runs and making some of those be smarter decisions when it comes to those kind of situations. But the kid can make the throws. He has a great arm. He's confident and he's smart. I mean, he's definitely a very smart quarterback also as well. And like he comes in, he's in a good situation where he doesn't have to come in necessarily and be that guy, like I said, unless he goes out there and kicks Russell Wilson and James Winston's ass in training camp. You know what I mean? Otherwise, he doesn't have to come in and have to rush him right on the field right away. You don't have to put him out there and on a bad situation. Let him grow a little bit. Like Adam was saying the other day, I would like to see him play a little bit this season, regardless of how the things are going, because you got to know what you got. Especially with a solid quarterback class coming out next year. If you needed to pivot and go another way, you need to understand that and know. So you're all gonna need to put eyes on him at some point this year. But I've come to accept this pick a lot more than I did on initially that first on that night on Thursday night. I was, like I said, a little bit in my bag a little bit, but I like Jackson. I like what he's bringing to the table, and I can respect it. And I like the fact that Brian Daboll is very high on this guy. This is the guy you want to coach up. You feel like he has a lot of Josh Allen type traits. That's a big comparison, but at the end of the day, if you feel like you can get a Josh Allen like career out of this guy, let's see. Let's see you do it, and let's go for it. Let's go.
Absolutely love it. And I would like to say this real fast, Adam, before I pass the mic to you. I would like to say this. I'm with you, Mac. I'm with you. I was really shocked at draft night. Did my research on him. You know, we look at everybody, all us Giants fans, right? Go look at our history on YouTube. It's a lot of research about who we drafted, right? That's how NFL fans go around the league. Everybody's looking into everybody, right? And you know, I love watching this kid perform at a high level against good teams. You know, watch that Georgia game that really showed a lot. I love his personality. You know, I watched a video of 24 hours in the life of Jackson. You know, and then I like seeing a clip where he was getting his haircut. And if y'all see the video, I know I'm comments and stuff like that. Leave a comment. You guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about. They ask him, like, he's talking to his barber, and he's all like, in the interviews, they ask him who's like a quarterback that you would want to train with. And a lot of people would say, like, you know, Tom Brady. A lot of people would say Patrick Mahomes, and then he said James Winston. He said he just loves the way that James Winston puts in the work. And this is before he got drafted, right? And then after he said that, he said, you know how cool it would be to have James Winston on a team as a teammate. And then it's just funny how things work. You know, you have a kid that even I thought they was going to take Sanders on the amount of effort that this team put into Sanders. But yet now we have this guy that they've been studying for the last 2 years. There's so much connections to him. If you want to talk Eli Manning, if you want to talk Joe Shane's daughter going to the school, if you want to talk about the coach and all of that, we can talk about a lot of stuff. And then you have him making it in fruition. Like, wouldn't it be cool to be James Winston's teammate? And guess what, brother? Now you are, man. Now you are. And I'm so happy this kid's a Giant. I think he's gonna good well. And like Max said, he has 1 year to, you know, really prove himself. And before I turn the mic over to Adam, I have never been excited for preseason, because at least he'll play in preseason. If he doesn't play, obviously he's going to play later on in the year, but at least we don't have to wait that long. We can see a little bit in preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get to see a little bit, but that's against preseason, so it doesn't really matter. But go ahead, Adam. What's your thoughts?
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Bow your heads. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. We can finally move on from Daniel Jones and the black cloud that he brought here. We have a new young gunslinger in the building. A guy that has some talent, some real talent, some talent that is underrated because, again, I think they over scrutinize his class a little bit. Hence what happened with, Stuart Sanders. But, I knew of Jackson Dart early on in the draft club because at one point the consensus was Ward 1, Shedeur 2. So I'm like, well, if those two guys are gone, I'm not going to study those two guys because clearly the Browns are the quarterback, clearly Tennessee is the quarterback. Right? So I went on to study the other guys. And Jackson Dart was one of the guys I studied for a couple of years because I thought he was going to come out last year when we were looking at the crop of quarterbacks, and I was looking at him as possibly the second round. And then, you go through the season, you watch him play on TV. The Georgia game kind of intrigued me. I know he got a bit banged up.
Real fast, Adam. Are you on your cell phone by any chance? It's a bit choppy. If you are, it's okay, but it's a bit choppy. I just want to let you know that. But we can hear you, but I'm just making you aware of it. It's fine, but if there's a way to fix it, I would fix it. But if not, it's all good. You can continue. Like it sounds really muffled, should I say?
You hear me now?
Oh, that's so much better. Thank you. Yes.
Sorry about that. I tried to use
you're
a
good.
headset, but
I know. If you heard it back, you'll be mad at yourself. So I just wanted to point it out for you. You know what I'm saying? But continue.
I know. Audio. Thank you for reminding me. I thought it was going good. I can't hear myself. So, anyways, like I said, we have to get behind this kid. He's got a lot of talent. I know a lot of people scrutinize the quarterback situation because that's what they like to do. And he was number 3 for me. Well, not number 3 quarterback, but I thought he was the third highest. Some people had him higher on the board. I studied him early on, like I said, because I thought Shedeur was going to the Browns. So I'm like, the Giants got to get somebody. And I didn't care if they took him at 3 because if they deemed he was a quarterback, I know the value of a QB. So I didn't care if they took him at 3. They ended up coming back in, and of the remaining quarterbacks that were left, I didn't mind him, right? If they on their board found out that after interviews, because remember, this is an interview process. People don't tell you that. But the off season for these kids is interviewing. It's not just, hey, we're going to draft you. And they are, if you ever went to a corporate job interview or any job interview, if you're a good interviewer, you're using every tell on the market to see if this guy's going to fit. And when you hear a story of, one quarterback not retaining the information or taking criticism, that could rub people the wrong way. And then you get Brian Dable involved, and he goes, this guy, I see a lot of the traits I want in my offense. At the end of the day, it fit what he wanted to do. So if they like him, then I'm for it. If it works out, which I think it will, I mean, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I think this quarterback has got some real talent. And I believe because of what Max said, you got Russell Wilson, you got Jameis Winston. You don't have to start nobody like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to pressurize him the same way, right? Remember, people forget Eli Manning was the first overall pick and sat 9 games, right? He didn't even start out the gate. Okay, they pulled him and
bring back the old days. You know what I'm saying? Like you brought back the running games back. Bring back the old days where quarterbacks sit and learn.
Right. Well, it depends. I think you can stunt a guy's growth early if you're in a bad situation. If you have a solid team and your team's built and you just happen to be like, for example, like the Bengals one year when they went down there and they got Jamar Chase. If you have a team like that where you're stacked, you can get a quarterback like that and he comes in fine. Or you're Sean McVay and you can work around it. I believe that
Sean McVay wanted Jackson Dart. That's why they traded. They traded.
And to me, I'm just looking at it like, when you do that, you allow the kid to learn. And he's learning with great mentors. I mean, I hate to say this because it makes me sound weird, but these guys they all believe in faith, right? They all are faith-based quarterbacks, whether we want to believe it or not. And when you put those people in a room together with like interests, like mind, like work ethic, that can rub off on you. Because you're putting like-minded people, like-minded individuals, they can talk about it. They're going to have inspiring quotes. Jameis Winston with like you said, Jackson Dart. Those two can mesh well because their personalities kind of mesh. And unlike our other quarterback that was here, who had a milquetoast as a personality, okay, this guy's got some swag to him. He's got some
Wishing him
juice.
the best, though.
He's
Wishing him
got
the
some,
best in Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying?
he's got some athleticism. He's gonna score a touchdown.
Oh,
and he's gonna be
Jade, what's up, my man?
He's gonna be throwing up signs and giving people high fives in the end zone. Meanwhile, at the end of the game, I can understand what he says. Unlike the guy that we had before him.
We don't
I
know his
didn't want to take that as lack of intelligence. But when you hear the three quarterbacks speak in front of him that we have now, and all these guys understand the game, it does mean something. I don't want to hear all this, and I think that rubs people the wrong way. And I hope this kid. I know I'm rambling on, but I like the pick.
Yeah.
As you guys grow more into studying him, right? Don't let the criticism fool what your eyes see. Okay, because a lot of people are saying, well, he's a Lane Kiffin's offense, blah, blah, blah. Does he have talent? Can he make the throws? Well, how is he on the field as a leader? What did they ask him to do? What conference did he play in? Factor in all those.
Hand me the mic real fast. Yeah, let me tackle this real fast. And I love that Coach Ed is here too, because Coach Ed, if he covers a lot of college football too. I hate the fact that a lot of people, they think that these quarterbacks, like, they have to come in complete. Like, here's the facts, people. Here's the facts. This guy played in the toughest division, the previous toughest division, because Big Ten runs the shit now. But long story short, the previously tougher division, regardless, the SEC is them, okay? The SEC is them, and this guy has 3 years in the SEC. So no matter what system he played for, he needs to come in and he needs to develop. This kid's not complete yet. I hate when people judge these young quarterbacks like they need to be perfect, like they need to come. Yo, Josh Allen wasn't perfect. Yo, Patrick Mahomes wasn't perfect. You know what Patrick Mahomes did? He sat and he learned from Alex Smith. You know what Josh Allen did? Make mistakes over and over again. Okay, these kids have to develop. They have to learn. The game is much more faster. And all of us here, and if you're listening, or if you're a host, no matter what, we all understand the game of football. And it's super good that this kid can come in. And like Adam said, our quarterback room is it's not cheesy at all. It's full of faith. It's full of adults that believe in a purpose and the reason why they're put on this earth. And I'm telling you this off the jump. This whole culture of the Giants has changed. Our defense is gonna be a defense that we can all chant defense to. And like the olden days, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm excited. It's all on paper, obviously, but I'm super excited. Let's move on though. We have our third round pick, Darius Alexander from Toledo. This guy's absolutely a dog. A lot of people will say he's marked as a second round pick, and I would believe that. And we just talked about Abdul Carter in the first round. Now we got Darius Alexander in the third round, and you line him up next to Sexy Dexy. I mean, like, oh my God. Like, we have the best D-line on paper in the league. And what just happened to the Chiefs last year? I mean, like, rushed fur and one. Like, we can be that team with our additions of what we got in free agency. Obviously, having a moment, super excited right now. But let me just calm it down. Let's be realistic. It's all on paper. It has to translate to the football field. But I want to get Adam. I know Mac went first last time, so let's get Adam's thoughts on Darius Slayton. Absolutely a dog, loyal to Toledo. Got this transfer portal nowadays, never transferred out. Loyal to Toledo. Absolutely, still I would say in the third round. What's your thoughts on this kid?
I like him a lot.
Over to Mac.
I really do like him a lot. I think he brings a lot to the table. I think one of his messages was he wants to break a man's will, and that's what you want to hear from your defensive players. Like, I want to take a man's will on the other side of the floor. So when he comes back to his coach, he says, "Don't put me back out there," And that's what we need. Do I know if he's going to be a starter? I think he will be assuming starter role at the end of the year. But I would allow him to come in third down, some pass runs, get the guy's quickness in the game, right? Like, don't burn him out yet, because I believe when you have rookies, I believe all rookies should learn, right? Even like Abdul Carter, I don't think he should be a starter. I think one, he should earn it because he's that damn good, and then two, if he can earn it, he's learning and he gets on the field and contributes. And where would that be best? Well, in a rotational fit as he learns the game against guards who are kind of big, he can use his athleticism against. He can be kicked outside like Golston if they want to run a 3-4 and be a DN that way as well and help the run. He's got so much versatility in this defense, and I just think for the value that they got and for not having a second round pick, I thought it was a great pick for them, and I think he'll. Wow, there's a stat that people need to know. Him playing offensive line
with another gem
allows
dropping
you
gems
to understand the pass sets of a lineman, so you can counter the punches and have an arsenal already built because you understand that side of the ball. As opposed, think about it like this: you have an advantage. It's almost like a person being ambidextrous and being able to have the left and the right go, right? What I mean by that is if you know what the defense can do, it allows you to take advantage. Look at Travis Hunter. He's a receiver and a DB, right? He has some, he can see some tendencies that maybe other corners can't. He'll be able to see some tendencies with some other linemen that maybe other defensive linemen won't know, and that'll allow him to get an advantage. So again, great pick. Joe Shane, first 3 picks in this draft. Hopefully they do what we need them to do.
Yeah, I would say I'll say it, man. We all said it, man. Joe Shane is running a masterclass on how to draft. Oh, go ahead, Mac.
I mean, Adam said it all, man. I love this pick here. I was ecstatic. This, like I said, the only pick we had Friday night, and it was a great one. This guy shouldn't even have fallen to us in the 3rd round. I mean, I feel like when the Giants pick came up, they probably literally ran to the podium with the card. Like, look, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, this guy should have been gone in the 2nd round. Yeah, he should have been gone in the 2nd round. As far as like I said, I stand by what I said on Wednesday on the show on Wednesday. Only because of that Toledo on his jersey is what made him drop, because his intangibles, everything he did on the field. I guess guys get a little scary with that too. Some GMs around the league, but at the end of the day, this guy was a beast, man. At Toledo, he dominated like he should have against that competition, but then he also went to the Senior Bowl and
Facts.
And pretty much was dominating there as well against the top competition in the nation. So, and then he proved himself throughout the process, and he looks like, I mean, I'm going to love seeing him lined up next to Dexter Lawrence and wreaking havoc in the interior of this defense, man. I mean, you talking about a major upgrade from a Nacho, Roches, Nuno, Nacho, whatever.
We still love you, Nacho. We still love you, Nacho. You know what I mean?
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
So I'm excited for Darius Alexander.
That's funny. I love his personality. Nacho funny. That being said, it doesn't. Yeah, we need football players. I feel you. That being said, though, I know we all excited about this one, man. Like I know this kid shined throughout the season, at ASU, but he really, really put the nation on notice when he put the offense on his back against Texas and damn near single-handedly gave these guys the fucking business. I know Mac's really excited to talk about it, even though they lost that game. Some people, regardless or not, this kid I seen him as early as the 3rd best, right after the first 2 to the 7th, and some people had him best. I don't know, man. I'm super excited about this kid, and I'm gonna just let Mac talk about him because I know he's super excited about him too. So Cam Scatterboo, what do you got, Mac?
Man, look, man, you know what it is. Like you said, Arizona State lost that game against Texas. Cam Scatterboo absolutely did not. Cam Scatterboo did everything a football player could do that day to get will his football team to a victory, man. He just needed a little bit more help, man. And look, the chirping's already started. The people were already talking. Oh, you guys are telling this Scatterboo. He's going to be like A.J. Dillon when he comes to the league. You're going to see he's going to be like this other bigger running back. He's too fast. He's not necessarily the fast. He's not had that breakaway speed. He's not going to be breaking off long 80-yard touchdown runs in the NFL. But at the end of the day, it's something about I can't even hardly put it into words. But this man knows how to play the game of football. He just and if you got it, you got it, and you're gonna figure out
You know
a
what
way.
it is, Matt? You know what it is, Matt?
He's gonna figure out a way to make his
can't-
tools work.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know what it is? Like that word is like you can't fake the passion. You can't fake the passion this guy has. You know, coach just dropped a comment. He said Scadaboo is a man's man. As a running back, the attitude, the abilities, the heart is what the team needs. Exactly. His you can't
Man,
fake the love
Coach
for the
taking the
football.
words right out of my mouth.
Coach, I'm glad that you're here. This guy follows a lot of college football, and Tomer Miller is a sweet guy and hasn't translated. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But I think when you watch Cam play, I don't want to take Max takeover, but when you watch Cam play, man, like there's something different about this guy. I already call him. I already go out there and say he's a bloke man's Christian McCaffrey. But I hope he can make his own legacy, because when I watch this guy play, he can catch the ball, he can throw the football, he can absolutely run the football, and he's never really getting tackled by the first guy that hits him. He's breaking tackles. He may not be the fastest, but he has the heart for the game. But back to you, Mac. I'm sorry, I want to take over your take, and then pass it over to Mac, Adam, and he's done. When you're done.
Oh, look, like I was saying, you just look at a guy and you just know, you can see the determination. Not to mention he has an overall skill set. He runs physical runner. He's going to get those tough short yards for you. He can catch the ball out the backfield pretty well, especially for a man his size, for a guy his size. And I mean, as we saw in that Texas game, hey, you want to throw a halfback pass his way? He can hum that sucker down the field too. You know what I mean? So, look, this guy just has it, man. He has like you just said, he has that passion. That's the perfect word for it. He has a love for this football, for this game that's undeniable, man. And I feel like failure is not an option for a guy like him. And that's why I'm glad he's a part of the New York Football Giants, man, because failure is not an option for him. He's not going to accept failure. He's determined. He's a winner. He's, like Coach said, he's a man's man. And I love Cam Scadaboo. Sunday afternoon, I didn't see the pick when it happened live. I was asleep. I woke up and it was like the first thing I saw looking at my TV. They happened to have the Giants picks on the screen. Cam Scadaboo was the 4th round pick, and I was excited, man, waking up out of my sleep, man. I love it. Let's go, Cam.
Absolutely.
Maybe the first 4th round player's jersey that I might buy. I might buy a Cam Scadaboo jersey. 4th round pick, baby. Let's go.
I know we never touched on something that Adam is probably want to get into, but fucking to pair him and Tracy, oh my God, I can't wait. Go ahead, Adam. You can read Coach's comment if you want to as well.
Yes, we were talking about the blitz pickup earlier on the top, and we'll touch that in a minute. I think that's his only weakness, but I think you can get better at that. But what he brings is he's a tone-setting player. We have tone-setting players on our team now. We have people who are going to be feared in Abdul Carter on defense. We have people who are going to be feared in Scadaboo on offense, because this guy is a violent runner. He's not a finesse guy. He's not trying to make you miss. He's trying to take your will. He's going to run over you, run through you, and run by you. And that's what you need. And I believe he should be the starter, only because, 1, you picked him in the 4th round. 2, he's the kind of back that needs to wear that defense down for a guy like Tracy to come in and break off those big runs at the end of the game. When you're like, oh my God, we were just tackling this Mack truck for 3.5 quarters. Now we have to take on, Tyro and Tracy.
Yeah, slice and dice by Tracy. I like that, Adam. I like that. Yeah.
A lot of people want it the other way. Plus, it eliminates Tracy from being a fumbler, giving him less carries on the field, and being a liability. So you bring this kid in who protects the football, who can catch out of the backfield. If he can learn how to block, which I'm pretty sure he has the passion for it. He knows how to hit. Sometimes you get a little worried. Saquon Barkley had a little bit of this. But if you understand how to do it and work at it, you can get good at picking up the blitz. It's just about will, man. That guy's coming at you. Take it. Put that shoulder right into him and let it happen. The best ones will bounce off and figure it out. But that's something we'll find out when the pads come on. But like I said before, tone setting back. We haven't had one of these kind of guys in the backfield since Brandon Jacobs. And if you guys got excited when Brandon Jacobs ran, Brandon Jacobs was a little bit of an anomaly, but he's kind of similar in terms of he's a battering ram. This guy's going to be a battering ram. He's going to be a guy that 4th and 1, guess who's getting the ball? And everybody in the stadium knows who's getting the ball, and he's going to smack it up in there. Okay? Well, he's going to probably be a guy who gets
I
a
want
lot
to
of
take
touchdowns
Cam
in the
in
red zone.
fantasy, bro, because he's gonna get the touchdowns on goal line stands.
Exactly. He's going to get into the red zone.
You
And you're
know
going
what
to
I'm
Jackson
saying?
Dart. You're going to Jackson Dart under center, right? And you run that little RPO, and then there's Scatterboo running by you or running over you for a touchdown, right? So I'm excited for it. Like you said, I'm excited for preseason. I haven't been this excited for a team
Exactly,
in a
bro.
long time. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Exactly. I'm gonna pass the mic right back to you, Adam. But before I do, I just want to say, man, Marcus Mabo. This guy is
I
supposed
think
to
it's
be
Marcus
an
Bow.
early Mo. No, he's the M is silent. Okay, Marcus Bow. He's supposed to be an earlier round pick. Some people as crazy as it seems, some people had him as high as the second, late second, early third. And I kind of, if you look at this kid play, I didn't really look at him that much, but he definitely, Scott is a great benefit for short units. Absolutely, coach. He definitely can play the game of football. And what hurt this kid is basically his injuries. This kid, I believe, 2 ACLs, all banged up, and I really that's why he dropped. I honestly think the reason why I say masterclass is I think Joe Shane, like, bros, like we still in these players. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this kid here? Because of injuries. Is it healed? Absolutely. Will it pass out doctors? Probably. And let's get it going. I mean, like, I like this kid. I really do. I'm be honest. I don't know that much about him, but all I know is a lot of people had him earlier and we stole him. So I like that. I like when we steal people. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Adam. What's your thoughts on him?
Well, it was great value to pick Marcus Bow at this point from Purdue. There's a lot about this kid to like. High upside, he can play guard and tackle. They're going to start him at tackle now. We'll see how it works out. He has the athletic makeup to play tackle. Sometimes the arm length is a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I get it for fighting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we did not pick him. Homie's contract. So
Evan Neal, who's going to be moving
Evan
to
Neal
Beyond.
is
So
exactly.
adding more depth and value. Like, this is not a Josh Azudu pick or Marcus McKeithen. This guy is better than those guys already out the gate. Right. So I think it's a good value. And like, this is a pick that normally the Giants don't ever make. We see other teams make it. We're like, oh, look at the Ravens. They got this guy in the 5th round. Look at the Steelers. They stole this guy in the 5th round. Well, guess what? Now we're that team that everyone's going, damn, you got that guy in the 5th round? That was a good pick.
Go right ahead, Mac.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just another, like you said, great value pick on a guy. Like, I mean, to me, like I said, I just, when I hit those short little T-Rex arms, man, I get the Justin Pugh vibes. You know what I mean? He came in, he was a highly touted offensive tackle in college as well, but them short arms, man, really did hurt him in the league trying to play tackle and he actually made a halfway decent career out of himself when he moved inside the guard, but at the end of the day, like I said, we want to try this guy out to tackle and let him pass. That's what he's been playing in college anyway. And see, I mean, just because you can't always just discount a guy because of some of the intangibles. I mean, the measurables that don't necessarily seem to stack up. I mean, look, people said Drew Brees was too short, Russell Wilson was too short, and look at those guys. They put together Hall of Fame careers at the quarterback position. So, I mean, who knows? This guy can come in with his little arms and still get the job done. He goes out there, he attacks. He's tremendous run blocking. I mean, he can do it all. Like you said, Adam, he mentioned he's to me, he's already better than a couple of the guys that the New York Giants have been kind of playing around with the last couple of seasons. And you name like McKeithen and Joshua Azudu. Glad we don't have to necessarily hope we don't have to see that ever again. Kicking Evan Neal in the guard, they made that official.
I forgot the kid's name, Mac. I just forgot the kid's name.
So what kid's name?
Evan Neal. I forgot his name. He's so forgettable. Evan.
Oh, well, Evan Neal.
He's so forgettable. I forgot his name. I don't have to remind me.
If that works out for the Giants, that could be a genius move. And then you got Bo here that could be maybe a really good, strong swing tackle. And just the versatility he does bring to the table. Like I said, he can play all 5. He actually can play center too. He can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. He can do it all. So, I mean, I think this is the great pick. In round 5, I mean, he's definitely was a steal in round 5. So,
absolutely. Can you bring up a couple comments? Can you bring up Coach's comment? I love what he said. Isn't afraid of competition. All of what he said is lovely, but isn't afraid of competition. and that's what we need, right? We need
Is he a
dogs on this
bodyguard
team.
type? I like that. That means
Yeah,
he's gonna go
see,
fight
Falcon.
somebody when
Yeah,
somebody
he's
messes with his quarterback. Got a bit of a
exactly.
mean streak.
Isn't
I like
afraid.
it.
You know,
And
like
dogs. We got
you know, like
dogs.
Campbell. You know, like Campbell. Like when
That's
he
what
gave
else.
his
I meant
speech,
to mention that.
he's like,
I'm glad Coach mentioned that
yeah. He's
because he
like, I
has
will.
great feet. Bo has great feet
Yeah, there you go.
for big man out there. So that's gonna help him out big time in the league as well, especially playing tackle.
Well, I
I'm
think
sorry. Go ahead.
I think what's gonna
No. Back
happen
to Adam.
now is you got you when with this pick you allow two guys to compete at the guard spot. Josh Azudu
Max
plays
Bobo, my
guard
starting right guard for the
naturally.
Giants.
He's a
That's fine
better
with him. That's
guard
fine.
than he is a tackle. And then you have Evan Neal, who we hope is a better guard than tackle. So what Bo allows you to do is bring those guys inside, let them kind of focus on guard. And if at the end of the day they stink, you can always move Bo in there. And what Bo allows you to do is have some insurance for Illuminor and or Andrew Thomas. People forget Andrew Thomas is getting chronic leg injuries. So to have a guy in here with some development, and don't forget they signed James Hudson, whether we like it or not. They gave him a decent contract, so he's probably going to be first up if one of these guys goes down. It's going to be good to have some people in the pipeline, as I like to call it. This is how you develop players. This is how you become a good team, because you can just draft at a spot, let guys be there, like the Eagles, right, and the Cowboys. They draft O linemen all the time, and you know what they do? They just replace the next O lineman. They let that guy go in a trade, and then boom. You
That's
move
what
on.
you gotta. That's what you gotta
Next
do,
guy.
Adam. It's so hard to find, and you just gotta keep on rotating. It's a factory, and our division does it the best. So I think the Giants finally fucking a fucking light bulb went off. I said, you know what I'm saying? Like let's just do it.
What I'm saying is, you can allow these guys like Azudu. We clearly know is a better guard than tackle. If you don't have to force him out to tackle anymore, and he can focus on guard, maybe that's an upgrade, right? Plus, you have John Runyon leaving in a year or two. We need these guys on these contracts to kind of get some playing time and be good, because this is how you be good. This is how you become a good team. Look at these other teams. What the Eagles do is they get a surplus of players at every position, and they just stack. And then when that player, when somebody needs a DN, guess what? They ship off one of their 10 DNs to the team and get a draft pick for them, and end up having 10 draft picks because they constantly do the same thing. It's almost like business to them. On the macro level, they're saying we need to be a good team, not just because we're good, but people will want our players, and we can always replenish our players. They got Jihad, what's his name, Mac? What's the Campbell? Jihad Campbell, right? In the pick. They already have Zach Bond, Kobe Dean, and Jeremy Trotter in their linebacker room. What it allows them to do is if somebody goes down across the league, bang, there goes Nakobe Dean for a fourth-round pick. There goes this guy for a pick. It finally allows you to have autonomy of your roster and really build, because you can, you don't have to worry about, hey, I have to worry about Andrew Thomas because the line's getting out.
I think it comes also. It really comes down to depth, right? They have depth, and as a team, and you're winning a lot. You can have depth, right? And I think the Giants are finally developing some depth. Like, yes, look at our quarterback room from last year to this year. It's absolutely I wouldn't even say 360. It's a 7-20. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. And now we can actually build on the future of the Giants that I grew up. I mean, you guys, in the 80s and 90s, and me in the early 2000s grew up too. It's like a Giants with depth, where we can have defensive lineman and we can still draft. And I think the Eagles have done a prolific job of it for the last couple 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at us, we've been suffering, but I kind of believe that finally we can actually build some culture around this. And it also starts with a guy like Thomas. You got Thomas out of Nebraska, a dog that can block, that can catch the ball, that damn near tattoos himself. You know what I'm saying? So, Mac, what's your thoughts about Thomas? Let's kind of go. I know this is a show dedicated to the draft, but I kind of want to go at a faster pace, being that we have a lot of, not a lot, but we do want to also talk about other picks in the draft as well, for other teams and stuff like that, and just the overall feelings on the draft. But that being said, go ahead, Mac, and what's your thoughts about Thomas? And go ahead.
I think it's a solid pick in round 7. He said, I mean, Eagles always piss us off because the Eagles just seem to make all the right moves all the time, man. They just is a team.
That's facts.
that understands roster building, and I feel like no other team in the league does it better than the Eagles. To be honest, I mean, I hate admitting that. I hate giving the Eagles props, but the reality is what the reality is. When it comes to roster building, no team does it better than the Philadelphia Eagles. But
That's facts.
But at the end of the day, Thomas Fedoni, what he brings to the table, I mean, he's just like competition to the tight end room. Like I said, right now I feel like honestly on the Giants roster, only Theo Johnson, only Theo Johnson is pretty much guaranteed a spot on the roster. I feel like at the tight end, but I think all the rest of them is wide open. You know what I mean? So he just adds to that, and he'll come in, mix it up, and we'll see. Like he slightly underachieved in Nebraska a little bit, which is why here he is now in the seventh round.
I forgot to mention. I'm sorry. He
also
also did get hurt. Like this kid was ranked really high up there with Buck Bowers last year. Obviously, Buck Bowers is him, but he was on that trajectory. But I believe he broke his leg. I believe this kid broke his leg. If I'm correct, I don't know. Coach can correct me on that. I know he follows college football really heavy, but this kid dropped because of the fact that he broke his leg, I believe. But continue, Mac. I'm sorry.
Well, he had some injury issues. I can't remember exactly what they were, but nonetheless, he's a guy that he hadn't it's definitely no spot guaranteed to him on this roster, and he's going to have to probably step in there and play some special teams. But at the end of the day, he's coming to what's a pretty wide open tight end room in New York, and he has an opportunity to shine, and he can see if he can prove everybody wrong and overcome. Like Coach Ed just said right here, he said he had 2 ACLs.
I know Bo had 2 ACLs as well. That's why these players are falling, bro. Giants out here stealing. You know what I'm saying? Giants out here stealing. Go ahead, Mac.
Kid can overcome it, man. And if a kid can overcome, maybe he can be a bright spot from this draft, be a star, end up proving to be maybe even the steal of the draft. Who knows? I mean, he has that kind of ability. He definitely has the body type I like in seeing a good tight end. Go out there, he has decent hands, good hands. He can go out there and make some nice grabs. So this is another solid pick for the New York Giants in the 7th round, late in the draft. I mean, it could be a hit or a miss, but at the end of the day, is it that in the world if it's a miss? Not really. It's a 7th round draft pick. They're kind of like throwaways anyway, in a sense. So just it's up to him. It's pretty much what he makes of his opportunity. So I look forward to seeing him in a tight end competition in Giants training camp.
Well said, well said. Go right ahead, Adam. What's your thoughts on Thomas?
It's a high upside pick. You throw a 7th rounder at a guy who has high upside. If he puts it together, he could be probably the starting tight end on this team. I think Daniel Bellinger's days are numbered. Chris Mayhern's, he's not a forever tight end. He's up there in age. This guy can come in and block and do the same things that Bellinger did, right? But the cost is a lot less right now. And if this guy fails, it's a 7th round pick. If he does well, guess what? You're a genius because you got a 7th round pick to perform. A guy, again, who if he doesn't have 2 ACLs is probably going higher. He was a big part of Nebraska's offense. He was kind of Dylan Raiola's safety net, so to speak. He lacks a lot of speed, but, sometimes when you run good routes and you're a big-bodied person, that can help you out. And what I like about this pick is, what no one's talking about is red zone. The Giants have a terrible, terrible job in the red zone. This guy's a big body. Go throw him a fade route. Go throw him a pop pass in the end zone. That's what the Giants need to do. They need to start to bring back some red zone offense. And Theo Johnson, while I like him on the roster, we don't know what he's going to be with the foot injury coming back. I think he has some upside as well. This tight end group could be sneaky good. It doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be good enough to, get over the hump. And the one thing I will say about, teams is if you have a solid tight end, they really can save you in a game. And the Giants haven't found a consistent tight end in a while. So let's hope we bring something to the room. I do like a dark horse on the team in Greg Dulcich. But this pick might kick him off the roster. We'll see.
I like that tight end too, Adam. I love the fact that you brought his name up. All I know is though, for sure, our team's probably gonna be a tatted. You know what I'm saying? Like this kid does tattoos. Imagine all our players just get tatted, throughout the season. More and more of our players just get more tattoos. But this kid's probably. I love that fact that you brought up touchdowns too, not to joke around, but I think that's a good mention. Touchdown, probably going to be out there as a big body. Russell Wilson, already super
He
excited.
also had some off the field problems.
Yeah.
Which another reason why I dropped.
That is true as well. Russell Wilson is probably gonna, already mentioned Theo Johnson. I'm really excited to work for with Theo Johnson. I think Thomas is going to be a red zone target as well. I love that. And last but not least, we got Corey Black. I have to be honest with you guys. Didn't really watch that much Oklahoma State games, and if I did, I was mainly looking at Gordon. But Oklahoma State, man, and Corey Black, don't really know that much about him. All I know is he's gonna come in and he's gonna compete. 7th round draft pick. We signed a bunch of free agents too. It's a good. I don't want to even be mean. I don't want to. Yeah, it's 2 ACLs in 2021 and 2022. So there you go, confirmed. I appreciate you, Coach Ed. Can you pull that up, Mac? The Coach Ed's comments. Appreciate you for confirming that it was 2021 and 2022 with 2 ACLs. So that means Bo broke his leg. So Bo did break his leg. That's why he fell. And then Thomas, 2 ACLs. That's why he fell as well. As much as Black goes, a lot of people would say he was ranked between the 5th and the 6th. 5th and the 7th too. But to be honest, when it comes to this late in the draft, I'll be lying to you guys if I was to know everything about these guys, because I didn't really make it to him yet. I've been so caught up with watching Jackson Dort, watching Carter, watching Scat, like, you know what I'm saying, like watching Alexander. Eventually, I'll do my research on Black, but I'll be lying with it. I don't want to come out here. I want to be 100 with you guys. I don't want to fake it. So let's just wrap it up. What's your guys' thoughts on Black real fast, and then we can move on to other topics in the draft. I think this kid has an opportunity to come out here and compete and show what he has, and I hope this kid really. I think he's making the roster, and I think he can get playing time, and I hope this kid produces. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want to see all of our draft picks produce. But go right ahead, Mac. What's your thoughts about Black?
Well, kind of like I said earlier, I just I can't expect this guy to come in and. I mean, especially given what the Giants did in this past offseason in free agency, you don't expect him to get a whole lot of time on the field on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. But look, he could surprise us. You never know. Things couldn't be. He can surprise. He can surprise you and do some things and open some eyes in training camp. Whatever. He'll get opportunities in training camp. But I just like I said, with him, more it's just the mentality in which he's coming into the league as a young guy coming in. I mean, already has that, like I said, his mind set the right way, the right mentality. He understands that most likely he's going to have to, show his value on special teams to have a real legitimate shot at making this roster. And he already has that mindset. He has that mentality. He's not staying. He doesn't want to play on defense. He wants that opportunity. He welcomes that opportunity as well. But he understands the situation. I mean, it's not that realistic that he's going to get us too many opportunities on defense, at least not right now at this stage of his career. So he knows that he's going to have to dig deep and maybe make a name for himself on special teams, and just having that mentality coming in, knowing that he still wants to be a contributor to this football team in any way that he possibly can. I love that in a young player that already just have that mindset coming in, because a lot of guys, they come in and they just want to do what they've been doing. Obviously, if you make it to the NFL, that means you have been a superstar pretty much. You have been a star your whole life. You know what I mean? And this is pretty much your humbling point right now. Now it's like you gotta humble yourself a little bit, accept what's there in front of you, but doesn't mean he's not gonna go out there and work hard. He's not gonna go out there and compete. You know what I mean? So. And Coach Ed bringing up some stuff on
it's just like
good straight line speed. Has the ability to recover when beat, can be beaten with quick moves and good route running. Can get grabby. He needs to be developed, but he has good size and he can tackle, which is what that's to his point of contributing on special teams though, just because he is a good solid tackler and he'll stick his nose in there, man. So I appreciate that. I can appreciate those type of skills.
Yeah, and I will pass it to you in a second, Adam. But it's such a question mark pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you good, coach. You don't have to apologize. It was just such a question mark pick. Like, I don't understand why. Like, I don't want to diss the kid. That's why I have to be nice to all our draft picks. I hopefully this kid earns his. But like, it was just a question mark pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, go ahead, Adam.
Just a value pick, 7th round flyer. You take on a guy who has the traits that you look for: size, speed, can tackle. Basically, he'll compete for the bottom end of the roster, and if he ends up being a contributor, well, then either two things have happened: he's a really good player, or we've lost a lot of our other players. Remember, we got Jeffrey Owens from last year as well. He's out there. We have a couple other guys that we brought in. I think we have forget what his name is. I think his name's Art something or other. Art, quarterback named Art. I forget what his name is, but there's a couple guys in here that they brought up.
Depth, right? Needs to be developed in depth.
Right. So I mean, worst case scenario, he ends up in a practice squad, and or worst case scenario, he's let go, but he ends up on the practice squad. You have depth guy, you can groom. We talk about grooming players and bringing them up in the system. This is why you get 5th, 6th, 7th round players. They're players that are going to play special teams and grow through your system. Trey Hawkins, you're right, Coach. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Jeffrey Owens is safety, or Gregory Owens. The Owens kid's a safety. But my point is, Corey Black, he's just gonna try to make it on special teams, and then you hope that he can develop into something that they see. Again, I think it was a traits pick: speed, tackling, physicality, fits everything that you need in a special teams kind of player.
Well said. Alrighty, guys. So I know we have some NBA stuff that went on, and we do want to talk about that. But before we probably wrap the show up with just the NBA, just to catch up on the NBA, you know what I'm saying? Because NBA has been going on, and I'm super excited about that. But the playoffs. But we're gonna focus on I want to know your guys. I'm gonna tell you guys and we can get into it if you guys want to get into it. We can save it to next week. It is probably ran its course and the media is ready, so I don't really want to stress the issue. But I would really want your guys' thoughts on the issue. If you guys want to open up the can of worms, you can. But that being said, I want to know some surprising moments of the draft from you guys, and your guys most you guys I like that moment. Like, hey, that really made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So feel good moments and what the fuck moments. That's what we're gonna call this segment. So I would begin by saying, and other than our team, obviously we just covered our team. I'm gonna tell you my feel good moments first. My feel good moments was to just see my Polynesians get drafted, man. We got T-Mac to start it off from Arizona. Guy's absolutely dog. Guy's gonna be a fucking touchdown machine in the red zone, and that guy is gonna be a dependable target for years to come for Bryce Young. Super excited for Carolina fans. Super excited, man. T-Mac, absolutely a dog. Best wide receiver in this draft outside of a dual threat that is Travis Hunter. And another one, Dylan Gabriel. I know, obviously, you was taken and another quarterback was taken. I'm going to mention here soon after you, and it's going to be a competition. But you have the fastest release, and I just feel like you can be a wreck in the league. I understand that your draft value haven't really been best, but I just love to see the Polynesians, man. We had 6 taken in the first round, and we had multiple taken throughout the draft. Love to see my Polynesians get drafted, man. Shout out to the people. 808 State, you got to stand up right now. That being said, though, my other feel-good moment was when Campbell got drafted by the Patriots right after we picked Carter. He came out there, he got on the mic, he was emotional, he worked his ass off to get to that moment. And he said, just that moment of let it all out, it hit him, Abdul Carter's is doing interviews with like Michael Parsons and shit, and it still didn't even hit him yet. But you can tell as a football lover, right, that it hit Campbell immediately. It hit him. And when it hit him in front of 125,000 people. Some draft picks, it may hit them alone that night after all the celebration, laying in bed. But it hit Campbell. It hit him. And he had a moment, and I love it when he said he'll fight and he'll die. I love that shit. That made me almost kind of get emotional. Fucking love that. That was my feel-good moment. Now, what the fuck moment was when the collusion of Sanders dropping to the 5th. You guys may not like the off-field antics. You guys not may like him believing in himself. You guys may not like him streaming the draft or all the shit that he says. You guys may not like him reading fucking plays or not being able to conduct a proper interview, but the kid did nothing wrong. The kid's talent shows up for himself. All of us believed him to be a high first round, if not at least a day 2 pick. You know, all of us non-experts' eyes believed in the kid, that the kid was the second, damn near the third quarterback, if not the second quarterback on everybody's fucking board, including all the experts and all the fucking websites. Don't want to get into any conspiracy theories, but it was a bunch of fucking collusion what happened here. I heard there's multiple GMs that took him off the fucking board because of his attitude in fucking interviews. I don't know. All I've seen, I never heard him get in fucking trouble. I never heard him get arrested. I never heard him fucking, he'd been documented his whole fucking life. He had his fucking TV show when he was a fucking teenager. What happens if you study all 256, 7 players that fucking got drafted? I seen red flags that wasn't even, well, what the fuck are you guys taking him? Imagine if that kid had a fucking television show. Look at Coach Ed. Sanders as number 1. Skip Bayless, Sanders as number 1. A lot of other experts, Sanders as number 1. But yet, you guys are going to take a motherfucker with all these fucking mostly cons than pros, and you guys, it's collusion. Don't want to get into conspiracy. Imagine if that motherfuckers with all those red flags had television shows. This guy never. Come on, bro. This guy has heart. He has belief. Yes, he may not have elite fucking arm talent like fucking Ward, but who does? Who does? Maybe 4 quarter fucking backs in the league right now. Who does have elite fucking arm talent? Let's be fucking real. This was so, it makes me mad talking about this. And I know this could be a whole other 2-hour podcast, but I'm gonna just say this, man. You can really tell, like, you know, NBA, it's player based, it's open. MLB, I don't really watch it, but I know it's not open. Bro, the NFL, wake the fuck up, bro. It's 2025. Y'all like the motherfucking old ass fucking grandpas that don't know what social media is, that don't know what streamers is. Y'all like the motherfucking washed up rappers that still think they make more money than Tyson and Nathan Ross. Y'all motherfuckers I don't want to go there. Let me just sit my, I don't even want to go there. I don't know where let's go. I don't want to go there. But y'all motherfucker wake up. I don't want to go there. But this irritated the fuck out of me. That was my what the fuck moment. I'm gonna pass it to whoever wants to go first. Feel good moments, and then what the fuck.
Since you're already there, I'm gonna go next because I got.
Yeah, please go.
They all involve the same guy. They all in some way involve the same guy, and that obviously that is Shedeur Sanders. All right, so the feel good moment for me, honestly, is watching Travis Hunter backstage doing some interviews after he was already selected number 2 overall by Jacksonville, and New Orleans Saints were on the clock. And there's that clip where he's right in the middle of an interview. I mean, they're right in the middle of asking this kid a question, and he's like, "Oh, hold on for a second." As the Saints pick is being announced, because he's thinking that that's potentially a spot where Shedeur's name is getting ready to get called. He's there still backstage supporting his guy, his teammate. He still has his back, you know what I mean? And it was hoping that was going to be the spot where Shedeur Sanders was drafted, and he wanted to hear his boys, he wanted to hear his homie's name get called, and he didn't want to miss that even while he was in the middle of conducting his own interviews. So to me, that was just kind of a cool moment. It shows you the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the support that these guys have for one another, you know what I mean, and the love they have for each other. That even while in the middle of conducting interviews, he's cooling them down, letting them, because he didn't want to miss his homie's name getting called if that was going to be the pick. What was the second one again? What was just like the next thing again, Zion? Well, anyway, but the next, I was going to say, next thing was just like, as far as just how the draft went, like maybe a shocking moment or whatever. I don't know. It was just like, watching the Cleveland Browns do what they did. I mean, like if you go in there, it's in round 5, and you finally do pick Shedeur Sanders in round 5 after you pick Dylan Gabriel in round 3. I think most people have Shedeur Sanders as a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. Definitely, pretty much everybody had him evaluated higher than Dylan Gabriel. So the point is, once you committed to Dylan Gabriel in round 3, That's kind of fucked up that you go on round 5 and bring in what's probably a better quarterback. That's now you're going to have this big media circus. It's going to be a zoo in Cleveland Browns training camp every damn day. Watching that competition, watching that. I mean, because here's the thing with Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders, he could very well win the starting job. He could mess around and be the starting quarterback for Cleveland in September. The 5th round pick. Meanwhile, you got your 3rd round pick sitting here looking like, well, the 5th round guy is playing, and I'm just sitting here holding the clipboard, or not even getting a uniform this week, But it's to me, it's just the things that the Cleveland Browns do that you just see why the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, and I just can't figure it out. I can't understand what that's all about. As far as the Shedeur Sanders thing as a whole, look. I'm a big supporter of Shedeur Sanders, but a lot of this was self-inflicted. I mean, at some point you just got to have a little like for the process. You got to respect the process. I still feel the exact same way I did last week about Shedeur Sanders as a player on the field, as an actual football player, what he can do on the field. But some of this was self-inflicted. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think when the more shit that came out about how his conduct at some of these team meetings, it's kind of embarrassing. Because sure, your father back in 1989, way back in 89, when he came out, he was conducting himself in a similar fashion. But let's face it, I saw Deion at Florida State. That man, wasn't no way teams were passing up on that. Wasn't nobody pass. People weren't going to pass up on that kind of talent. Shedeur Sanders, you're not quite on that level. You're not that level of prospect that your father was back in those days, man. So I just think he kind of screwed himself a little bit, but the drop to the 5th round is still, to me, is at some point you got to still make it about the X's and O's, and what this kid is able to do on the field. It's shocking that he actually lasted all the way to the 5th round of this draft. So that's my what the fuck moment. Just
that's facts.
The whole
that's
thing.
Facts.
But also another one is just the prank call thing. Get to the bottom of the prank call thing, and it's the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator's son.
Yeah,
the fact that comes out, that's also just a lot of craziness going on around with Shedeur Sanders all through the draft weekend, man.
That's absolutely nuts. And I'm sorry, I was in the bathroom, but I was watching. You see, I'm dedicated. I was using the bathroom and watching Premium Takes. And thank you, Coach, for reminding Mac it's the what the fuck moment. Thank you, Clueless, so much for being here as well. Adam, what some of your favorite moments in the draft? Some of your what the fuck moments in the draft?
My favorite moment was Cam Ward getting drafted. Guy deserved it. He went from no star recruit, not getting the offers and scholarships, to working his way into being the number 1 overall pick. So that was my moment of the night. My what the F moment was kind of the prank call shit that was happening. Like, this is happening to an NFL player. I mean, we've heard it happen, but 2 players. It's happened a couple of times, but it's big because it's Shedeur Sanders. But the thing I want to touch on with the Shedeur Sanders thing is, I agree with Mac. He can fuck around in training camp and end up being the starting quarterback. I don't know. I think the fall from grace was mostly because of a few things. One, Mac said it, he failed in the interview. All right, these are interviews that you're doing, and people don't want that shit in their building. 2, the thought of some of these teams, if they pick him high, are going to have to stick with him, meaning his dad can come out and take your job. At his 5th round pick, that's not going to happen, right? Unless he's absolutely a baller. There's no pressure to start him. You don't need to worry about the criticism. If he gets beat out, he gets beat out. It's an easy way to sequester him, right? And I just think that the talent is there. He shouldn't have been a 5th round pick in my eyes. He should have been higher than that. And some people were humbled by that. And they didn't want the whole Deion drama, and they didn't want all the excess. And maybe we'll see what happens, what kind of chip he has on his shoulder here. As for the Browns, I'm not surprised. They're taking swings at the quarterback position. They took decent swings at the quarterback position. They don't have any pressure to start any of these guys. They got a 1st round pick next year in case these guys stink. They can draft Nussmeier or whatever other quarterback that comes out next year. So I think they put themselves in a prime position to kind of, if it fails with Shedeur, okay, we'll move on. And Dylan, we'll move on next year. If it works out, you look like, wow, we got a fucking steal in the 5th round. But I think overall, Shedeur Sanders, like Max said, kind of hurt himself. It's not the rap videos. I know that you were saying it's the rap videos. I think a lot of people are with that. What a lot of people aren't with is when you get critiqued and you're yelling at a coach because he's critiquing you on giving you the assignment. He gave you the answers to the tests. Say, next time we see you, I want you to know this. You come back and you don't know the answers. They say, well, what happened? They basically call you on it and you get mad at it. And that type of shit they don't want to see. And I'm not saying you have to be a yes man or acquiesce to that. And no, agent also didn't help me either. The advice he was getting was also terrible. But like when you have those things rushing in together with your dad basically acting as your liaison, and he's telling you he's not gonna go to this team and it's just a lot of circus. And let's be honest, every week it was a Shedeur Sanders thing. The NFL draft, all they talked about was Shedeur Sanders, taking away from other people's moments. That's why you got. It's
the unnecessary attention, right?
Exactly. That's why you got what it needed. They didn't want to bring that extra baggage. Listen, when you're sitting there and a 5th round pick is getting more buzz than anybody else, that's a big ask to ask an organization to bring this guy in. Now, he could be great, right? But his name's already Sanders. If he was a Cam Ward type of guy, he would have been picked higher. I guarantee you.
Let me just touch on this too, Adam. I want to ask you guys this. Like I said, it was collusion. There was damn near collusion. But yeah, you guys are right. He bought him on himself, and he definitely did. Here's the thing though. We all had him high. We all had him as a day 2 pick, regardless of anything. This guy was marked as early as the top 10 to day 2 for sure. And I think the one thing that did it in is, man, I had a point in it. I just totally lost my track of thought. But the one thing that did it is God damn it.
Look, I think it was the biggest slide in the history of prospects I've ever seen in terms of.
God, I got it, Adam. Thank you for covering. So we all see it, right? I don't have to repeat it. But the one thing that really did it in is, regardless of how we all feel, it looks like I think this kid's gonna go out there and be great. But regardless of how I all feel, I think if you can just say a hypothetical, we all know it's collusion, but hypothetical. What if the NFL looks at it and is all like, his game doesn't translate to our game? You know what I'm saying? And I know that's wrong bringing up, but because we all know he's gonna be a baller. But as you look at him, like, and as if he holds on to the football, and then you go and you spend a 3rd round pick on a quarterback that is the fastest release time. So when you look at the Cleveland Browns, like, it's almost as if like you were saying, like quarterback drought, right? It's almost as if like they know that Sanders is him, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna just kind of keep him on roster, like as a 5th round pick. Let him develop. Let Dylan Gabriel teach him how to release the ball faster. But let's be honest, Dylan Gabriel played in a tougher conference. That when you look at the mechanics that translates to the NFL, Dylan Gabriel's mechanics suits the NFL's better than Sanders' mechanics. And I think this is a thing where the Browns look at it as in like, yes, Dylan Gabriel may be ahead of him right now in the NFL level, but he's still going to get an opportunity. And if he can beat everybody out, it's not like they have a who's who at quarterback. He definitely has an opportunity to be the starting quarterback. But the point being is, you guys both brought it up, it's the fucking nightmare circus that's going to go on with the Cleveland Browns now. It just doesn't make any sense,
Well, they're a circus, they're a joke, they've been a joke, so it's a fitting organization to go to. They need some publicity. This will give them publicity. I'm just saying, this will give them publicity.
All right, let's move on. Final 10 minutes, though. Let's move on. I want to capitulate on the NFL. The NBA playoffs for the last 10 minutes. We're going to cover the NBA playoffs, not even majority, but we're going to start it off next episode with the NBA playoffs. But for the final 10 minutes of this episode, covered by the draft, absolutely A+ for the Giants. I would say A for the Giants, because if you give them the A+, there's no room for improvement. So I'm gonna say A for the Giants. And I'm also going to say, I'm happy. I'm happy for the first time in a long time as a Giants fan. 10 minutes left. I want to start next show. I really want to start next show. I know it's going to be a week out, but I do want to start next show talking about the whole Giannis and Hallenberger's dad and stuff like that, because I just felt like that was wrong. So we can save that for next episode, even though it's in the past, but I still want to cover that. But for this episode, since we only have 10 minutes left, I do want to cover what I thought about my team, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Adam, and then Mac, if you want to say a few things as well, you can. I'm just going to say this. I didn't expect this from the Cavs. Like, I thought we was going to show up more, and there's no excuses, but what I'm going to say is the Cavs are looking damn near good right now, and for them to shut us down, the Miami Heat, the way that they did, damn near shocked me. I almost gave up of watching the games. I'm excited to watch like other playoff games than my own fucking team's games. But what I will say this is, I just hope that this shows, like, as much as I don't want to criticize this guy because this guy's a legend and our coach is elite, I hope this shows like Pat that, like, yo, bro, like, they need help. Like, as much as we love Tyler, as much as we love Bam, as much as you love the fucking development that Miami, because we develop players. Like, we're the best at develop. I would say we're one of the best at development, and I would say Eric is one of the top 3 coaches in the NBA. But I will say this though, like, I love you. I love the fact that Khalil Will like went out there and as a dog, like, he's gonna be something. But we can't expect Khalil Will to be something in his first. It's not like he was a fucking top 5 pick. We can't expect that in his first fucking year in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And Bam and Tyler can't do it by themselves. And Wiggins is not the Wiggins that we all knew that, but we all thought he was gonna show up, and he didn't. Long story short, I'm not gonna get mad. Mitchell is him, absolutely dog. I love what Mitchell does for us. I think he should start. We just need help. We need a fucking superstar, and I hope that we can get that. If you ask me, I want it to be a Giannis. I don't think he's going to leave Milwaukee. I think he's going to stay in Milwaukee, but I want it to be Giannis. But it's probably going to be KD. But I accept it. I accept Kevin Durant. He don't even have to facilitate. He can just shoot. He's going to have to fucking take up pressure. Tyler Hero can fucking distribute. Mitchell can distribute, and he, you know what I'm saying. I'm so happy for the future of the Miami Heat. Even though we got demolished, I'm happy for the future of Miami Heat, and I'm gonna fucking follow the Cavs since fucking Anthony Edwards fucked up the Lakers. So the Cavs are gonna win it all. I'm gonna change teams as much as I respect OKC and as much as I respect Alexander. I'm gonna ride with the Cavs because they took us out, and I think the Cavs are gonna beat Boston. And the Cavs, you're looking at the 2020 fucking 5 champions of the NBA. In the NBA, I'm just gonna say that right now. Cavs started off the season fucking undefeated. Went on a fucking tear, fell off, went on another fucking tear, fell off, and then fucking showed up in the fucking playoffs. Nobody beats us by 50. We're the fucking Miami Heat. It was a pain in my heart. Like, this doesn't happen to us. Not us. And it happened to us.
Take your fan hat off. Take your fan hat off. Come
Long
on.
story short, go right ahead, Adam. You got.
Miami Heat.
Listen,
Guys
Cleveland
stumbled into the playoffs. Shouldn't have fell into the playoffs.
I was gonna say, like, I'm not surprised. Okay, you play a play-in game, get into the playoffs. Hats off to Eric Spoelstra because you guys are, a playoff team. But we're talking about the top team in the Eastern Conference. This is what you wanted to see out of Cleveland, right? Stomp on their throats, move on to the next round. You're not even a thought. What I'm liking is, and what I loved seeing is the fall of Rome over there in LA. Okay, the fall of Rome. You got Luka over there, and guess what? He can't do it by himself. He tried to do it with the Mavs. He can't do it with the Cavs. LeBron James, I'm sorry, bro. It's time to hang him up. You're getting old. You're not the same guy anymore. You can't carry the team. I mean, even though he had a solid game, you can tell that his legs are, he's getting old. And that Minnesota team last night played had one of the worst shooting performances, and I knew they had a chance to win the game just because their defense was that good. Their rebounding was that good. Hi, buddy. Their rebounding was that good. Roy Hibbert, didn't I tell you about Roy? That he would have a dominating performance.
I would say this, AC. I'm at Nets on this. I'm at Mets on this. You can't judge. They don't have no bigs. Watch the Lakers next year. But continue.
Okay, that's not my problem though. I don't care that you have bigs. That's exactly how.
Them problem.
That's exactly how Minnesota won because they saw your weakness and they
It's
played.
not their fault he failed his fucking physical when they tried to acquire Mark Williams from fucking Hornets. You know, he
Listen,
failed this. They tried.
Because
I don't know
he
why
would have been. He'd
I'm not a
have made a
Lakers fan.
difference. He'd have put him
He
over
would have
the
made a
top.
difference for real.
He'd have
though.
put him over the top.
Thank you. I don't want to go on, Adam. It's your point. We have 5 minutes left. Go on. How much?
Your favorite team to win. It didn't take you that much. It didn't take you that much to win. Here you are, right? And bye, Laker team, bye. We can't say next year because next year LeBron's going to be a year older. We don't know what moves they're going to make right now, and I can't foresee the future. But it's just good to see the Lakers, out the playoffs. Some young guys are in there, some young bucks. I like Anthony Edwards. I think they would have played better at home. So somehow, even after their terrible performance, they still won, which is kind of good. That's what you want to see with a team on the road. They struggled shooting and they still somehow survived.
Well said. We got
Well,
Houston
well.
versus Golden State right now, but go right ahead, Mac.
As far as like the Cavs did exactly what I thought they were going to do, and I'm sorry, Zion, but I kind of knew there was no.
Yeah.
I know you're holding out hope, but
You're good,
I knew they were
shit.
going to dismantle the Heat. I knew they were going to dismantle the Heat. That 50-point game that clinched the series, I didn't see that one coming, but not quite like that. But that was damn near 60 too, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there that it was damn near 60. But that being said, the Lakers, it's disappointing that because I knew it was going to be a pretty decent series. I thought it would have been a pretty good series, Lakers, and I thought Lakers were going to still be able to edge them out. And at the end of the day, the fact that the Lakers went down in 5 games, 4-1, I mean, that's to me is just they got some things to look at, man. To definitely look at. But
Edwards had 40 points a game.
I still see the thing. I still see things coming down to what it is. I still see it coming down. OKC to me is still the cream of the crop in the West. I still see Cleveland and Boston over there in the East going to be battling it out. And I see it basically. These were the 3 best. To me, these are just hands down the 3 best teams in the NBA right now currently. And I just feel like I'd be stunned if we're not watching the matchup, watching the OKC versus Cleveland or OKC versus Boston matchup come to finals. I would be stunned. To me, other teams to me just don't stack up right now currently to how they get things done. They handle their business. OKC just ran through Dallas in the first round. I mean, yeah, sure, Boston did drop 1 game to Orlando, but let's face it, they still dominated that series as well. We just talked about what Cleveland did to Miami. These teams, they went out and did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they showed why they're the best right now, why they're the best the league has to offer. Just on another nugget, though, I was just at work the other night. We were talking, and once again, somehow the LeBron MJ argument came up again, discussion came up. And, I'm the oldest guy. I'm always the oldest guy at work on my shift. I'm always the oldest guy. So they always look at me and ask me about the old shit. And they're like, oh, what do you think about Jordan and this and that? Who do you think really is the GOAT? Jordan, Kobe, LeBron? And I was telling them Jordan, and I'm telling them every reason why Jordan is the GOAT and will remain, to me, always being the GOAT. It's not that, because he doesn't have the physical traits of LeBron James, but he has every damn thing else. He's got it all. He's got everything else. He's got that, and I don't know why young guys don't seem to want to understand it. I had a young guy, he was like 22 or 23 years old, and he was saying to me, he was like, oh, if Jordan played in this era right now, he'd get cooked every night by these players. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind, bro? Are you out of your mind? Like, you have no idea the greatness of Michael Jordan because you didn't see Michael Jordan play an actual game because he was retired before you were even born. I'm telling you, like, it's just the shit that some of these young kids say is just crazy out of their mouth. They have no idea.
You know what it is,
They
though?
just have no clue.
It's staff stuff is. Right, and
I mean, like, sure, LeBron's 40 and he's still a dominant player, but and I get it. I'm not just downgrading LeBron James, and I hate people may think that I'm not. I'm just saying When you talk about the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Jordan won 6 chips. Jordan
I
won
think
6 final MVPs. Jordan won the 3. They won the 3 chips 3 years in the back to back to back. They won 3. Jordan retires for those 2 years. The Bulls end up, they fail in the playoffs. Jordan comes back. They win 3 more in a row. What more
I
evidence do
would
you
I would
need?
I would
He
say
is the
this, man.
GOAT,
I
God
would say
damn
this,
it.
man.
He's the
I would
GOAT.
say this. I love the passion, Mac, but I think that's a good convo for next episode. So let's just prepare, do our research. I'm not gonna combat Jordan because Jordan's my GOAT as well. I grew up watching AI. But what I will say this has been a great fucking episode, man. This has really been a great episode. We're gonna pass the mic back to you in a second to end us out. But next week's episode, let's just focus on basketball, right? It's the playoffs. Let's talk about LeBron and Jordan, the whole debate on the younger generation and our generation and your guys' generation and my generation, and we'll talk about basketball's playoffs. But that being said, thank you guys all for being here. One love, man, for all of you guys. And I'm gonna pass the mic back over to Mac. He's gonna end the show on a great outro. And thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's get it.
Definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us for a couple hours here on a Friday night, man, talking about a lot of the NFL draft tonight. And make sure y'all tune in next Friday night for with myself, Adam Costas, and Zion Zenith, once again bringing it to y'all, man. Throw them 4s up once again for our guy NYG Jeffy T, man. We still love you, baby. We still love you, man. And get them up. And we back next week. Make sure y'all stop by Zion's channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like on the stream. Go to Adam's channel, do the same thing, hit that subscribe button, hit the like on the stream, and do the same thing on my channel as well. Would appreciate it. And make sure you go to the Hardcore Sports Network and do the same damn thing. Hardcore Sports Network is a great network of a lot of great content creators coming, bringing a lot of content to y'all daily about every sport, all sports, from football to baseball to hockey to basketball, everything. We got it covered on the Hardcore Sports Network, man. So make sure y'all tune in next Friday night to another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's Adam Costas, Zion Zenith. Pass!